for making money. So today we're going to talk about some key concepts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because I've been doing this for a long time and it's been really successful for me. I started teaching online before teaching online was cool, like that's how long I've been doing it. So I've been doing these things for a while, and I've learned some things about what work and what don't work. There are a lot of classes out there about like how to teach online, how to make money, but this is like from ground zero. I'm going to teach you how to do it with just an online classroom and a phone. Like literally that's all you need. As you get more advanced, I'm going to teach you some things like how to, there's some things like how to automate it, or how to do, have all these fancy registration systems, and my husband and I, Tyler Watson and I are getting into those things, now, but really to make money online and teaching classes, you just need yourself, your classroom, and a phone, and really, it's a really powerful and a really cool thing. So I'm excited to see you. It looks like we have someone else joining us. Again, if you're on the phone, welcome. You're on the phone, and also just really glad that you guys are here. So I'm just going to start out a little bit with my story, if that's all right, and kind of how this all came to be for me. First of all, I want to show you one of my favorite pictures in the whole world. Give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you can see that picture. Okay, good. Hi, Sierra. Glad you're here. So you can see that in the chat box. That is my little girl. She is just over 2 months old. And she is my favorite thing in the whole world. And seriously, the motivation for everything in my life. And so this is a live class, in case you guys didn't know, like we're actually really alive here. And so if you do hear a sound in the background, it's because my baby girl, Isabella, is like actually there, and she is, if for some reason I have to stop the webinar, go take care of something, that's because it really is alive and she's right there, and she's only 2 months old. So she comes number one. She's my first priority. And again, I want to say thank you to my husband for taking care of Isabella while I do this presentation. But let's talk a little bit more about my story as far as online and presenting and stuff like that. Those of you who know me know that I've been doing presentations like this for over 9 years. I presented all over the world, literally, like with people from all over the world in Canada, from Alberta, from Maine to California to Texas. I counted one day, I've worked with people personally from 38 of the 50 states, which is fun, and Canada, including Alaska, which is really fun. And I really, really love teaching people. I really love connecting with people. But this class is, and most of that work has been done online. I've made my living online for the past 9 years, and it's a blast. It's super fun. But I want to go back to the beginning and kind of start with, where did things come from? Where did that start? In 2006, that's kind of when I started mentoring and speaking. And I was in college, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is fun. Like, I'm going to do this. I was working with a youth group, and they're like, hey, you're a good speaker. We want to invite you to Arizona. So I went to Arizona, and they're like, we want to invite you to Colorado. I went to Colorado, went to Idaho, just a lot of places in the West to present and speak. And it was really fun, and it was really going really well. But I didn't know anything about online, when I got started. 2008, I began teaching in an online high school. So we had online classes, and this was a new concept for me. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, I can be in an online classroom with people from all over the country, and we can all be here together, which is super fun. And then a couple of years after that, I started teaching on my own, entirely referral-based. Basically that means, and again, I was just right out of school, all kinds of stuff like that. Basically that means that people would refer others to me, and I didn't do any marketing. I was just teaching online, and people were like, hey, you should come and do this, right? And they're like, she does a really good job, you should do it. And I had people all over the country who were referring people to me. I was only making $50 an hour at that point, but it was something that I really enjoyed, and it was something that, for someone just fresh in college, that was a really good place to be, right? And then in 2012, something started. I decided I really wanted to do this. This is something that I just kind of learned on my own, just from a lot of practice. And I welcome those of you who are joining us. Glad that you're here. So I just kind of practiced, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Let's try this, kind of a thing. But as I went along, I started to learn some things about what worked and what didn't work. And in 2012, I was like, I'm going to do this actually as a business, and I'm going to really start to reach out and to help people. And I had been making my living at it for, 3 or 4 years already. Actually more than that, 6 years. But I was like, I'm going to really do this, and I'm really going to try to reach out to people. And so I started, I started an LSE, I started to launch packages. And my first package, you guys, this is cool. I didn't know what I was doing. No one taught me how to do this, but I got 7 people in to the package at $400. And that was like, this is cool, right? And it was just basically, I called people up, I got on the phone, I was like, hey, what's up? This is Emily, how are you guys doing? And I called them and I told them, what I was doing. I told them about the class I was teaching, and they got in. And so 7 times 400 is how much? I'm just checking in with you guys. So where's my mathematicians there? 7 times 400 is 2,800, okay? And that happened when I really started doing this class, with my with my own company. I made $2,800, and I was literally working about 7 hours a week. And that was what I was making, and I was like, that's cool, So in that first month, that was $2,800, which is a decent living, right? The average in the United States is a little bit higher than that, but that was a decent living, right? So that was my very first class, and I was like, that's fun, that's cool, I can do this, I can keep going. And again, no one taught me how to do this. I was just learning on my own. So 2,800. But then after that, my average was four grand per class. So basically, I was easily making $4 grand a month teaching, or I didn't want to make that much because I was busy with other things like that. But I was easily making $4,000 working maybe 5 hours a week. Is that cool? And that's how I made my living, and it was just as much as I wanted to, and then I went to the next level of classes, and I charged people a little more, and I started making more. In 2013, I launched automated Udemy classes, and then in 2015, now we're working with my husband, we're averaging at least $10,000 per online class, sometimes more than that. And I'll tell you more about the automated classes too, because those are super fun. You just put it on there and you start making money. You don't have to do anything else ever again, which is fun. But I started making money, and we make $10,000 a class. Is that cool? And then we started automating them, so we didn't even have to work that time, and we're still making that money, which is really fun. So that's a little bit about my background. I want to hear from you guys in the chat box. Go ahead and type in kind of what are your goals for teaching online. I want to get a survey of the people who are here, and I know this recording is going to go out to other people, but I want to get a survey from you all that are in this class. What are your goals? What do you want out of teaching online? What would be a good amount for you to be doing? Just to kind of see where I'm at with this audience. So go ahead and do that right now. And well, the other cool thing about this is in 2015, we're also doing automated classes. Automated basically means, for those of you who don't know, automated classes means, I'm just going to mute some of you who had your microphone on. Basically, you just set it up, and people sign up, and they get it all recorded, and you can make however much money you want, which is fun. It's totally cool. And then 2016, our goal is to do an automated launch for online teaching classes for 100 grand, which is really doable. We're working with mentors right now who do $1 million in 2 weeks, which is cool. So that's kind of our goal. And the more classes you teach, obviously you can make more, but the purpose of this class, the reason you guys are in here is I told you how to make your living online, making with less than 10 hours a week, which is totally doable. Like I said, I did that for about for about 8-9 years, and it's super fun. And I could have made more than, I was making, 4 or 5 or whatever, $1,000. I could have made more than that if I wanted to put more time in, but I was like, this is fine. I just want to do it this way, right? And my husband and I now want to reach out and reach a greater impact and more people. So that's why we're going to the next level, doing launches, doing automated classes and stuff like that. So just checking in. Can you guys hear me? Are we still all here? Go ahead and type in the chat box. Say, hey, I'm still here. We can still hear you. Awesome. Okay, so I'm getting some of your goals. So one of you wants to allow your husband to work from home. Bam, that's a good idea. Roger. Awesome. Good. What about the rest of you? What are your goals? What are your goals for teaching online? Why are you in this class? Just getting a survey of the people here. So someone wants to allow their husband to work from home. The rest of you are just here for information, or what are you looking for? And again, those of you who are listening to this on the recording, I want to hear from you. I want you to write it down. If obviously, you're not here to type in the chat box, but I want you to write it down. What is your goal? What are you looking for from teaching online? Support yourself through college debt-free. Bam! That's a great goal. Good job, Sierra. Sierra, I'm glad you're here. There's a lot of different goals. Some of you want to retire your family members. Some of you want to just make more money. Some people want to impact more people. Someone want to support. That's a fantastic goal. I graduated from college debt-free, doing exactly what I'm going to teach you right now, Sierra. So that's awesome. To reach a wide range of people and change their lives. Bam! That's a great goal. Fantastic. So you're in the right place. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you this. This is a template that I created based on all those years of experience. Since 2006 when I started doing this, I want to share with you some things that I learned. Because I've worked with many, many, many people. Some of the people in this recording have been with me on online classes. But I want to share with you some of the things that I learned. I've noticed that people, when they try to start teaching online, they have some challenges. Number one, they have a message, or they feel like they want to teach online, or they want to make more money, but they don't know how to present it in a way that it can engage an online audience. And that's definitely something that that I think probably, if you knew how to engage your online audience, or if you knew how to package it or whatever, then you would probably be doing it already. So I know that people are looking for that. You're confused on how to present your information. This is a big one, uncomfortable with technology. Okay, when I first started doing this, I didn't know all the online platforms, or how to use them, or what a chat box was, or how to use a chat box, or how to use the whiteboard, and all those different things like that. I didn't know how to do that. So I went through a lot of learning curve, which I want to, teach you a little bit about, so you guys can save you some time as you go to teach online. I want to teach you how to not get bogged down by the technology. Also, marketing. Obviously, if you guys knew how to get people into online classes, you would already be doing it, right? And it's really easy. I believe anyone on the world literally can do this. But this is the template that I went through, which is create a compelling message, develop your program, find the right online platform, do some marketing, conduct a class, automate it, which means you just record it and it just goes and it runs as a system, and then engage your audience. And all of those things, I believe those are the things that really have allowed me to do this. And I've pulled them all together onto this template for you, because I want you to skip some of the long drawn out things. Because I would try an online platform, for instance, and I'd be like, oh, that didn't work. Let me try a different one, And I learned some things about how to conduct a class that had people coming back with testimonials that were like, this is the best class I've ever taken in my whole life. I've had people come back and say that. And they're like, of online or in-person classes, this is the best class I've ever taken. And how do you do that online when it's a totally different platform? Well, I learned some things about conducting a class. So I'm going to cover as much as I can in the time we have today. We do have only a short amount of time today. So I'm going to cover as much as I can, because I really want to give you the information you need to really start doing this. And then at the end of the class, if you guys, I know there's probably going to be some people in here that are like, oh my goodness, I want to learn more. I'm going to show you how to learn more. Sound good? So we're going to go through this. I'm going to teach as many things as I can in in the time we have together today. So let's go ahead. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Let's go ahead to the next thing, the first step on there, which is number 1, create a compelling message. I don't know if the people on this webinar, if you understand how big a deal. I mentioned at the beginning, it's 100 billion estimated market right now. But every single person here, and those of you who are listening on this recording, you have multiple skills that you could be teaching online and making money at right now. Multiple skills. I didn't mention this when I was telling my story, but I've taught everything, literally from like music to Hebrew to writing to personal development, how to make a difference in the world, to marketing. I've taught all of those things online and been very, very successful. And I know that each one of you has multiple skills that that you could be teaching online right now. So I want you to right now, I'm just going to take a moment. I want you to write a list of at least 5 things that you could be teaching. I want to expand your mind for a second. So 5 things you could be teaching. Just take a moment to do that right now. Okay, so hopefully you got at least 5 things on your list right there. I want to see some of those in the chat box just to get the people's ideas going. And those of you who again, are on the recording, I want you to think about it for yourself. What are some things you could be teaching online? So go ahead and throw some ideas in the chat box. Those of you who are here live with me, what are things that you right now you know about that you could be teaching? So Wendy, writing, crafting, music, literature, scouting, bam, awesome. Is there a market for writing, crafting, music, literature, and scouting? Absolutely, yes, there is. Great examples, yeah. Yep, and it's interesting because I don't think people realize the value of the things that they're doing. If you have ever cooked a meal and you know how to cook, that's something you could teach. If you have ever been a good parent, that's something you can teach. There's a huge market for parenting stuff out there. If you have ever, crafting, oh my goodness, that is a big deal, especially on blogging today. There's tons of stuff you could teach about that. So there's literally a limitless supply of things you could teach. If you just been like how to be happy, if you're a happy person and you have things you do every day to be happy, you could teach that online. Nathan says presenting a powerful message in front of people. Bam, yeah, definitely. How to be a good manager, that's something you could teach online. All of those things, and there's so many more, there's hundreds of things. And the cool thing about teaching online is you can reach a worldwide market. So if you're like, well, I don't know right here, very many people, there's hundreds and hundreds of people online who want exactly what you can teach. The key is just how do you package it, how do you reach the people with it, right? So the answer is, what can you teach? Anything, okay? Anything that people want. And even if you don't think people want, you can actually really, truly package it in a way that people will be like, oh yeah, I totally want that, which is really neat. Um, so the key is you just have to package it and put it in a way. So if you look up here, I'm gonna talk about some tools and resources for a second. One of the ways you can learn right now to start teaching online any of those things is you have to create a profile, and you see this under tools and resources up at the top right side, is define your audience. When I work with people and I teach them how to do this, I will actually take them through a process. So we have a bunch of questions that I ask, and it's like, how do you define who you're working with? Because as soon as you know who you're working with, you know how to market and how to get the message out to people. So for instance, for presenting a powerful message in front of people, who are the people who would want that message? Who are the people who would want to learn that? And I want you to think about that. Who are the people who would want to learn that? Wendy, for people who want to learn how to crafting things that you know, like how to make crafts, what are the type of people that would want that message? And then you think about, so I want you to go through that process. Pick one of the things you wrote down, one of the items you could be teaching about, and I want you to write your ideal audience for that. Your ideal person who really would want what you have to offer. So go ahead and do that right now. And those of you that are here, I'd love it if you just go ahead and put this in the chat box. I love to be really interactive with my classes. That's one of the things I've learned about conducting a class. There are a lot of online classes out there that the person just goes and talks and a lot of stuff like that. But in my classes, the reason I get tons of referrals is because I like to engage the audience. So I'm engaging you guys here, and those of you who are on the recording, I'm engaging you through the people here. Someone who loves crafts but doesn't really realize how easy they are to make. Awesome. Great. So what kind of demographic would that be, Wendy? Would that be teenage boys? Would that be teenage girls? Would that be moms? Would that be leaders of corporations? Who are the people who are really looking about crafts, looking to make crafts? Or who love crafts? Generally, who are the people who love crafts? Obviously, generally the people who love crafts would be in a certain demographic, usually a mom or a girl, teenagers to moms, yep, mostly women, yeah. So if you know that they're mostly women, then you would present your message in a way, and you would craft your message, and you'd headline your message in a way that attracts moms. Sarah says, my audience is youth and young single adults. Awesome, 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 awesome. And once you know your audience, and you can start to craft it, and you can start to reach out to people who meet that demographic. Chances are each person here, like enough people already in that demographic of the people that you want to teach to already start making money. Okay, each person here, you could probably make $2,000 within the next week. Literally just with the people you know. That's how powerful that is, and once I teach you the script for how to do this, you'll be like, oh, this is so easy, right? Which is really cool. So I want you to start thinking about that, thinking about, Sierra, you want to teach youth and young adults. What do you want to teach them? What's your message? What's your concepts that you want to teach these people? And while Sierra's writing, I want the rest of you to go ahead and think about it. Really, those of you who, I hope you wrote down at least 5 ideas. While we're waiting for Sierra, while Sierra's thinking about it, I want you to write down at least 5 more ideas, because you never know. Some of the things that I have taught that I didn't ever think I would teach, like for instance Hebrew, I found a bunch of people who wanted it, and I was like, that's cool. I've learned a little bit of Hebrew, like a couple of years, basic Hebrew, and I'm like, sweet, I'll do that. 5 more ideas for things you could be teaching online right now. And so go ahead and do that. And Sierra, I want to know what you're teaching to young adults. And okay, leadership, effective communication, expectations, and selling. Awesome. Very cool. What do you mean by expectations? Like how to sell with expectations, or what do you mean by that one? And the rest of you, I hope you're writing more ideas down, because you might, like I said, you might hit on the one that's like the coolest one. Awesome. So Wendy's talking for her husband. Languages, guitar, sound and endearing, singing, fitness, bam. All of those and more you could definitely do. Thank you for sharing those, Wendy. Okay, so while you're still thinking, it's really cool. Those of you who decide you want to learn more about this, I'm going to invite you to learn more about it. I have an online niche research project that I want you to do, which will be cool. We don't have time to do it right now, but really getting down and defining your audience is really, really powerful. And catching attention online, how to do that, all those different things. So developing your program. Once you know what you're teaching and who your audience is, then the next step is how do you develop your program? Sierra responded here. She says, how to set and obtain expectations that allow you to reach your dreams and values and live for outside of cultural expectations. Wow, that's powerful. That's a powerful message that young adults and you teenagers need to know today. That's powerful stuff. Cool. So the next step is you're gonna develop a program, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, I can teach crafts, but then people are like, what am I gonna learn about crafts, and what do I do with that? So really, honestly, the easiest way to describe this, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one today, because we have some more things to cover in this class. But to develop your program, really, all you do is you go through a step-by-step. Say, okay, this is the thing they need to learn first. This is the thing they need to learn second. This is the thing they need to learn third. And just like this template I have right here, you create, what is the problem what are the steps? What's the problem they solve? What is the description or, the solution to that? What are they going to get when they have that solution, and how are they going to get it? What are the benefits of it? So for that, step 2, develop your program. The problem is confusion on what and how to present your information in a way that engage an online audience. Create a clear outline and syllabus that makes it easy for you to convey information. And you will get more registrations if your message is clear. So if you follow a similar template where you create steps and create what it's supposed to help them with, then and the tools for that I have for that are Program Builder and the Program Builder template, which is really cool. So like I said, we're not going to spend a ton of time on this one. We're going to skip over to finding the right online platform. For me, this one was a huge deal. This was something that I was really trying to work on, because I've tried a bazillion online platforms, and there's some that work better. There's some that allow you to have a little chat box like this one that we're working with right now, which GoToMeeting is a fantastic platform. There's some that allow you to actually have a whiteboard where you draw. There's some that you have the camera. You guys can see me right now, and it depends on the platform depends on what you're trying to teach. So here are some of the ones that I've tried in the past. WizIQ has an interesting platform. AnyMeeting has an interesting platform. WizIQ I like because it has a whiteboard you can use. And GoToMeeting is the one we're using right now. AnyMeeting is one that you can use. If you really want to do an online course, it's really powerful. Blackboard Collaborate is good. That's a little more expensive. But it's something that works really well. Some of these have a little bit of internet connection problems. So there's a lot of different platforms. So far, like we said, the one we're using right now is GoToMeeting. It has really good internet connection. Usually you guys are able to, see me pretty well and the connection's pretty well. But it doesn't have quite the same, well, and I like it because it's a screen share, so I'm screen sharing with you all right now. So here's my screen. This is just everything on my screen. So if I pulled up Paint on my computer, you could see that. If I pulled up Microsoft Word or anything on the computer, you could see that. So that's why I use GoToMeeting right now. But there's pros and cons. WizIQ, you can upload a PowerPoint, and it has a whiteboard you can draw, and everyone else can draw on it too, which is really cool. So like I said, there's a lot of different platforms I've used. Depending on what you're teaching, you'll use a different platform. And those, the people that I work with who I coach on how to do this, like more specifically, who get into some of my classes, like how to teach online, I help them find the exact right platform so that they can do it. Because a lot of people find that this is the most daunting part. A lot of us were like, yeah, I can totally teach, and if I had a group of people in a room, I could teach them really well, right? I could show them how to do it. But online, man, how do I use this platform? How do I work it? How do I work the chat box? How do I do the computer and the camera and all those other things? So that's something that depending on where you're at, and there's a lot of reviews online as well that you can do for online platforms. But it really depends on what you're trying to teach. So a basic online class, if you want it to be really interactive, WizIQ is a good way to go, or Blackboard Collaborate. If you're trying to do an online course with like tests and stuff like that, both of those are really well. Yes, all of them do. As far as I know, there are some, although Wendy, that's a great question. They all charge to be used. There are some, however, that if you just want to share your screen and get people on a conference call, I understand. I haven't actually used this one myself, but freeconferencecall.com. I'll share that one real quick. That one, you can get a free conference call line that is absolutely free, and you can record conference calls and stuff like that free. And then you can also, which is really cool, you can also, I think you can share your screen on that one as well. So if you want to teach online, that's one way to do it as well. Yeah. Any other questions about the online platforms, go ahead and share them in the chat box. Google Hangout, yeah, my husband just reminded me. Google Hangout is another one that I believe is free, that you can just get on there and get people on a Hangout. It's a little bit different. I think there's a chat you can do with it. I haven't used that one a ton as well, but it depends on what you're trying to teach. These ones on the bottom, I want to talk to you about for a second. Because if you really want to make money teaching online, if you want to automate it, which means you get automatic, recurring things where you record your class and you start making money that way, these ones are really, really nice. So you see Kajabi. Next, that's the platform that my husband used and I use for online recorded classes that are our upper level classes. So our classes that are between, $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever that we teach, we use that one for our upper level classes. That have more than 30 hours, or that have like 10 to 30 hours of class time. We'll record them and put them on Kajabi Next, and it has a whole membership site. They can get in and they register for it, and they have access to all the recordings and stuff like that. It's a really nice site if you want to do automated classes. And when you guys work with me and we get into class together, I'll teach you specifically how to use that. Udemy is super, super nice. That one I do for kind of my lower end classes. So I have a class that it's called How to Make a Powerful First Impression That Lasts. I recorded that about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And I put it on Udemy. So it took me a little bit of time to record it because I had to get a camera and had to get a microphone and a lot of things like that, right? But then I put it on Udemy, and the first month it was on Udemy, it made $500, and I didn't do anything. Like, I just put it on Udemy, and then they sold it for me. So Udemy is actually a fun class, or a fun platform. You can put things on there. They do have a standard of quality to put things on there, so you have to make sure you have the right sound quality, the right video quality. And I help people do that. I can help you do that, like get the sound quality and the video quality and all those things right, so that they will sell it for you. So it made $500 the first month. The second month made like $100, and it's consistently made, you know, between $50 and $100 every month, and I don't do anything for it, which is not a lot. It was one of my first classes I ever recorded, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's still on there, right? So it was with me with my little, like, I was like drawing like my animations for it, and I was just like have myself and my little camera. Literally, that's how I recorded the video. So it was like a brand new video, and I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to do anything, but it's consistently made me money for, you know, more than 2 years, and I haven't done a thing to it since, which is cool. It's residual incomes, you know, so that's why Udemy is awesome. Since then, since I've done that one, I've learned a lot more about online marketing. I've learned a lot more about recording and recording quality, and so the next Udemy class that I'm going to record probably will be bringing in between $2,000 and $5,000 a month, just because I know how to run the system now, which is cool, right? And that I don't have to do anything else. It's just residual. Sometimes you have to market a little bit to make more money, but Udemy is a really powerful platform if you just want to set it on there and let it go and let it do its thing, right? And then I just put the other thing, ClickFunnels, on there. If you really want to get into automation, that's a powerful site for building online funnels. For this class that you are all in today, we use a ClickFunnel to get you into this, because I wanted to test it. This is kind of our alpha testing for ClickFunnels, and it's been working really well for us, so well. So there's tons of technology out there, and my husband and I are always we're kind of on the cutting edge of looking for what works and what doesn't work. And, you know, it's always changing. There's always new things that are coming out. So those of you who really want to learn that, you know, get into our space, and we're going to teach you some of the things that we're learning. Our mentor, like I mentioned, is making millions of dollars online. And he's teaching us everything he knows. So if you really want to learn that, and you really want to learn how to automate and stuff like that, then get in our space and we can teach you more about that. Any other questions about platforms right now? Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead, and so we just talked about platforms. We're going to talk now about marketing for a minute. And marketing is something that is really awesome. It's something that is really daunting for a lot of people, okay? A lot of people are like, I don't know how to do this whole advertisements, and they think that they have to have the perfect website and the perfect blog and the perfect everything in order to make money online, which is not true. You don't have to have pretty much any of those things in order to make a lot of money online. The things you do need to have in order to make money online, number one, you do need to have a computer, and you need to have an online classroom. Obviously, you have to have a place for people to meet if you're going to teach online. Second, you need to have a phone, okay? I'm going to teach you some levels of marketing right now, and online marketing, and kind of where I started to where I am now. So let's go ahead and go there. So person-to-person marketing for teaching online. How many of you know at least 10 people? Okay, that's kind of a redundant question, right? You're like, all of us that know at least 10 people. In fact, the average person knows at least 250 people. That's the average. People know is 250 people. And chances are a lot of those people are in the city where you live, right? But chances are a lot of those people are not in the city where you live. And those 250 people that you know, they each know at least 250 people as well, okay? So there's a huge market of people that you can know just person to person. And in fact, that's the best way to start, even if you're teaching online. Still, the person-to-person connection is the best way to get people into your classes. So when I started, like I said, I told you at the beginning, I was teaching in an online high school. And then I was also teaching an online middle school. One of those schools actually stopped running after the first year. So it was no longer in operation. But I had people all over the country who were like, oh my goodness, Emily is such a great teacher. We love her. And they started sending people to me by referrals. So I actually started my business off of referrals from that online school that I was teaching at, because people just loved it. And so they're like, this is cool. And so I had people from Maine calling me, and people from, Massachusetts and California and Texas and all over the place that were like, hey, I heard what you do is really awesome, right? And I was like, that's cool. And so they just started learning from me, and they got into my classes by referrals. And it's because I had done a good job. And so it was a person-to-person thing. And also when I started making more money, making $2,800 or $4,000 a class, it happened really easily. It happened really easy because all I would do is I would just literally call up my friends and be like, hey, and I would tell them about what I was doing, because I was really clear in my audience. I knew the kind of people that would want the classes I was teaching. I knew what would attract them, and all I had to do was get them on the phone. So I'm actually right now, I was going to put together the script and like have it on the screen for you this morning, but I was taking care of my number one priority, which is my baby. So I'm just going to tell you the script that I used. You guys want to know the script I used to get people into those $4,000 classes? Would that be useful to you? When I would like call people up, what would I actually say to them? Is that something you're interested in? Because if not, we'll just move on to the next thing. Okay, so some of you are interested in knowing that script. Okay, so this is person-to-person marketing. This is literally what I would do, and this is how I made my living for like years, just doing this. I would call people up that I knew, and I would say, oops, and hopefully you can catch all this. I will have it written down for the class that you guys have the opportunity to join in. But basically this is what I would say. Hi, this is Emily. How are you doing? And they'd be like, oh, I'm great, And I was like, oh, well, I haven't talked to you for a while, or I have talked to them, whatever, but I just want to hear more about what your life is going on. And I would really listen, because I would call people that were in the niche of people that would be interested in the class, right? So I'd call them and I'd be like, okay, hi Julie, welcome, glad you're here. So I would call them and I would say, okay, so what's going on with your life right now? And I would get a really good idea with what's going on with their life. So I would teach personal development classes, and I've actually done it to people in this class who are here. I would just call up and be like, hey, tell me what's going on in your life. How are your goals going? Are you achieving your goals? Like, I know that you were going for this thing a long time ago. And I would really listen to where they're at. I would spend probably maybe 5 or 10 minutes really getting a good idea of where they're at. Okay. And that's easy to do, right? Everyone likes to talk about themselves, and there's someone just getting a good idea where they're going. If you're selling a class about crafts, for instance, if you're gonna do an online class about crafts, I would ask them something like, hey, so are you doing anything creative lately? Are you doing something you enjoy? How's your house looking? How's your decorating? Whatever. I would ask them something that has to do with the class that you want to offer them. But before they even know that you're going to offer them a class, you get a good idea of where they're at with their creative self. So again, if you want to teach someone how to present themselves really well, just be like, hey, how are you doing it? Do you feel like you're really sharing your message right now? Just, start asking them some questions specifically about the area that you're going to offer the class to them, okay? So that's the first thing. You say, hi, this is me. Just thought I would get back to you. You're talking to them and say, here's some specific thing. You ask them some specific questions about where they're at with the thing that you want to offer them. Once you do that, then you say, oh, so, thank you, man. Sounds like whatever, respond to whatever they said to you. Then you said, I had been thinking about you recently. Because I've been working on a project that is really important to me, and I really enjoy it. And I was thinking of some of the most amazing people I know, and you came to my mind, who I wanted to get involved with this project, and you came to my mind. Can I share that with you? And at that point, of course, what are they going to say? Yes, of course, and they're going to feel really special because you just told them that you were thinking about them, that they were one of the special people all the stuff like that. Literally, I've used this multiple times, made my living with this script, and it really worked really well. So I was thinking of some of the amazing people that I know. You came to my mind, and I want to get you involved with some of the projects I'm working on. Can I share that with you? And they're going to be like, yeah, totally. And then you go into a brief description, not like a 20-minute description, but like a 3-minute description of your class. And you say, hey, So I'm putting together this online class that's really powerful, and I really think it'd be a good fit for you. And this is what it's about. We're going to talk about this and this and this and this, and you tell them some of the bullet points for the class and how it works, and then you say, so you tell them a little bit of the class, you spend like 3 minutes or so doing that, then you say, is that something you would be interested in? And usually, if they're a person who fits your description, right, and you described it, pretty well, they're going to say, yes, that's something I'm interested in. Then you say, hey, can I share with you, or can I email you more details about this class? And they're like, yes, of course, So you have something put together that you can email them more details about the class, and then you say, okay, da 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 da, and either then or in your follow-up call. So even when you when you offer it to them, or when you follow up with them, they're going to ask you, how much is it, right? Or is there a charge for this class, or is it you charge for money? And then this is how you respond. You say, usually for people, this class is a $750 class. But for you, because I was thinking about you because you're so amazing, I'm going to offer it to you for $400 or whatever your price is that you're going to do. I'm just giving those numbers. Those are the numbers I used for a long time. And that's kind of where you start from. So that's kind of the bullet points. I'll go over those bullet points again for you really quickly of that script of person-to-person marketing. Number one, you just say, how are you doing? You ask them some specific questions about their life and then the area, and ask them some questions about the area you're going to offer the class for. Then you say, hey, you're one of the most amazing people I know. I'm doing this project. Can I tell you about it? They say yes. Then you tell them about the project, tell them about the online class. Then you say, are you interested? Is that something you're interested? Can I send you more information? They say yes. And when they ask what the price is, you say, usually for people, this is the price for the class, but for you, because you're one of the people I know, I'm going to offer it to you for this price. And it's a lower price. That's the script. And literally that's how I made my living for like 3 years. Just using that script on person-to-person marketing, where people would refer people to me. I would just get on the phone with them. I would tell them how to do it. And there you go. Right? Are you glad I just shared that script with you? Should make it pretty easy to start teaching online. Okay. So hopefully you're glad that shared that. Hopefully you could catch that. Again, later on, I'm going to share you more details of how to get involved with me, and I'll have it typed up for those people who want to do that. But hopefully you're able to catch that. So that was a script that I used, and people would get in the class. Because I was teaching personal development classes, $400 was actually a super, super cheap price for this online class. If you're teaching, different niches have a different price level. So if you're teaching crafts, probably your price range is going to be a little bit lower, because it's just a different niche than personal development. But if you're in, and now, because I'm teaching people how to make money, Tyler and I, we offer online classes, and we have booked classes that are like completely full of people that are paying, $2,000 or more per class, because we've gotten a lot better at it. We know how to use the technology, and we know how to talk to people better. So when you're starting out, easily you could be making $1,000 per class. When you get good at this stuff, you could be making, $10,000 or more per class, which is cool, right? Cool. Any questions about that person-to-person marketing or that script that I just shared with you? Okay. Seeing none, I will move on to the next thing. Just give me a thumbs up if you're just like happy and cheerful today and you're glad I just shared that with you. Give me a thumbs up or smiley face or yes, thank you, Emily, or whatever, just so I know that you're still with me. Awesome. Cool, great. So the next level of marketing, again, you guys, we have so much to cover. Like I said, I'm going to try to cover as much as I can in our class today. But there's so many different things about teaching online, but I'm going to give you as much as I can right now. So person-to-person marketing is the first level. Once you have a pretty good knack with that, and you're really good at just talking to people, you do online webinars like we're doing right now. Basically, it's just a really simple way to get people to know kind of what you're doing. So you get on Facebook, you design an online webinar, you have an online platform already because you've already taught classes with the person-to-person marketing, right? And you get on the online webinar and you say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And you create a PowerPoint or whatever, and you share with them what you're doing, and you have people sign up at the end. You know, that's the next step, super simple, right? And online webinars, there's actually a template that I use. We don't have time to do that right now, but there is a template that I use for online webinars that I've learned that helps people in sales marketing. It's called Convert the Highest, but basically here's a template that Tyler and I use to get people into $2,000 classes online. And $2,000 automated classes, meaning it's completely recorded, but they pay $2,000 to access it, which is cool, right? So there's online webinars, and then the third step is automated marketing. So this is a live online webinar. So you and I are actually in this live. I'm sitting in my chair talking to you right now. You guys are live right now. Then you can actually get into automated marketing where you record an online webinar and you just send it out to people, which is really cool. And then they watch it and they're like, that's cool, and they sign up right there, and you don't even have to show up. Our mentor, like I said, he makes 80 grand in a week. Literally, this is absolutely 100% true, and doesn't show up at all. He has an automated marketing funnel, an automated marketing system already, and people just they send it out to people, and people sign up, and he makes 80 grand in a week, and he doesn't even show up. He's like skiing in, the mountains somewhere, which is super cool. And that's something that Tyler and I are really getting into right now, the automated marketing. So right now you're in an online webinar, right? But automated marketing is super powerful, especially if you're going to start running ads on Facebook and stuff like that. So that's kind of the system, and it goes from one to another. If you master the person marketing online, then you're able to do the online webinars because you know what people want, and then you're able to do automated marketing online, which is super awesome, super cool. But if you're just starting out, just focus first of all on person-to-person marketing and use that script I just gave you. And don't get bogged down with the rest of it. But just know that the possibilities are out there for really making a lot of money and really impacting a lot of people with systems that are like this. Cool? Awesome. So let's just jump into, marketing, like I said, there's a ton of cool stuff on marketing, but the webinar template, the script I just gave you, creating the right flyers and information, closing ratio tracking, knowing how many times you offer and how much you make from it, those are all really powerful things that are part of the tools for online webinars. You can go straight to automated marketing. But that's a great question. Thank you, Wendy. You can go straight to automated marketing, but chances are you're not going to do very well at it. Okay. The reason for that is, unless you're on an online platform like Udemy, but again, still, if you're on Udemy, they do the marketing for you. But if you don't have a good marketing video on your class, it's going to be a little bit tricky as well. Because people will still opt in based on your marketing video. So you can go straight to automated marketing. However, chances are you're not going to know what people want or what will help people sign up. I'm going to use a really funny example of this. So my husband and I, I've been doing this for a long time, for 9 years. My husband is really rocking it, and he's on the one-on-one, the person-to-person marketing. He is one of the best I've ever known, actually. And he'll have people sign up for $8 or $10 or whatever $1,000 just sitting down and talking to him, which is really cool, right? But I've been doing the online stuff for a lot longer than he has. Okay, so I will post something online. Like I did for this one. I did a really, really soft, sharing for this webinar that you're all at. I just posted a couple things on Facebook, and I had a bunch of people sign up, right? And it was really simple and really easy, and I didn't really push it at all, and, I just contacted a couple of people, and people signed up, right? And when I put things on Facebook, people generally do that for me. For my husband, he's still learning about what to say online in his Facebook posts or on his other posts, and he won't get very many hits usually, right? So this one that you guys are at right now, I got 86 people who viewed it just on a quick one-time post on Facebook. 86 people viewed this webinar, okay? Tyler is still working on it because he hasn't done it as much. So there's actually things that you learn when you do a lot of marketing. When you do this a lot, you learn some things, okay? So you have to master the one-on-one. Most people try to avoid that and jump to automated out of fear. But if they jump straight to automated, and that's totally true, thank you, Tyler, that's totally true, and people jump straight to automated, don't have good results because they don't know what to say to people. They don't know how to work with people one-on-one, and how are they going to work with people like 10 on 10 or 100 on 100 or whatever else like that. So that was a long answer to your question. Wendy, thank you for asking that question. The answer to that question is I would start with one-on-one. I would start getting people in your classes one-on-one because you'll learn how to catch people's attention, the things to say that will get people in your class or not. It's a really powerful feedback. You know right there whether or not it worked or what the word was. You're talking to someone on the phone and you're like, da, 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 right, this and this and this and this, right? And they're like, oh, I'm not interested anymore. You're like, I shouldn't have said that, right? And you learn it one-on-one really well. But if you go straight to automated, you don't know why they didn't sign up. No one signs up and you're like, why did no one sign up? I have no clue, right? So the feedback is really quick on one-on-one. And on live webinars like we're doing right now, the feedback is pretty good. But if you're just automated, you don't know what works or what doesn't. Yeah. So Tyler says, plus the people you associate with make a big difference. My Facebook group was of people who aren't into personal development or growth. Yeah, true story. my contacts on Facebook, because I've been doing this for a long time, I have people who are into this stuff. Now that I'm growing, my Facebook friends are changing and it's easier to get more people. Yeah, true story. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so the people you associate with also change as you start doing the one-on-ones, and you start building around people who are really into learning what you want to teach. Cool. Any other questions about that? Did that help, Wendy? Awesome. Cool. Great. So there's some other things. We just talked about marketing, conducting a class, automation. We're not going to get into automation on this webinar because I don't want to overwhelm you. I know that how people work, and we're not going to get into that right now. But audience engagement, that's a really cool thing, conducting a class. The real key to teaching online like this, like live online classes, is the chat box and how you use the chat box, and that's really cool. And also the engagement. So you notice that as we've been going through this class, I haven't just been talking at you the whole time. Sometimes that's the best way to do it, but usually, again, when you're first getting started, it's engaging the people, asking you, hey, are you still with me? Are you checking in? Getting in the chat box, having you write in the chat box. The reason that I do that is because I want this to be a transformational experience, We're just together for like 90 minutes today or whatever, and we're having this class together, but I want you to be engaged. And if we were live, hey, we were live in the same class, I could have you like talk to your neighbor next to you and like fist bump them or give them a high five or whatever. But online, we don't have that we can't fist bump you. I can pretend like I can give you a high five on the chat, on the video or whatever, but the chat box is really the key to conducting a class that makes people engage in the class. Julie says, when people contact you, do you make it a point to get in touch with them to person, or do you use the script in a chat? That is a great question as far as marketing. Thank you for asking that. So usually, honestly, I will get in person with them and talk to them on the phone. If you're going to that first level of marketing again, that person-to-person marketing, the best way to get people into your online classes is just talk to them. And it really doesn't have to take very long. You guys, when I was doing this, I would talk to a person for like 20 minutes, and they'd be like, sweet, I'm in. And they'd pay me $400 or $1,200 or whatever, and that was it. Like, super simple, super easy. When I first started, it took a little bit longer, maybe like 30 or 40 minutes on the phone with people, plus a follow-up. So I would call them, I'd, talk to them for half an hour. They'd be like, sweet, that's super cool. I would send them more information about it, then I'd do a follow-up the next day or 2 days later or whatever. They'd be like, awesome, that's it. Any questions? And they would sign up. So it doesn't have to take a long time per person. Like, again, if you're selling classes for even $100, that's a low end, online class, unless you're doing Udemy, but even $100, you're signing on the class for people, and you want to get 10 people, and you want to make $1,000, off of this class, and it's a 3-week class. So you call people up, you call, 15 people up and spend 20 minutes with, or 20 minutes with each of them. That's 5 hours, right, of work. And you get in, and they pay $100, and then you teach a 3-week class for 2 hours each, so that's 6 hours. So in less, in like 11 hours, you made $1,000. Okay. And again, for some of you, that's not a ton, and you'll be offering things for a lot more. But for most of the people in this class, when you're just barely getting started, making $1,000 in 11 hours is a pretty good deal, right? It's almost $100 an hour. If you get really good at this and you teach really awesome online classes and stuff like that, you can be making $400, $500, $600, $1,000 an hour teaching online really, really easy. Yeah. So especially when you get into the automated marketing. How do you know how much to charge? That is a great question. And in order to answer that question, I would need to get into, specifically what are you teaching, how much experience do you have, and how confident are you? Those are the real questions. So what are you teaching? It really depends. There's a different market, and that's the fourth question. Like, who's your market? What are you teaching? How much experience do you have, and how confident are you? For Tyler and my business, the main business we do, which is we work with entrepreneurs, so that's our audience, and we're teaching them how to make more money. So those two things make it so that we can charge, $10,000, because we're working with people who want to know how to build their business. We're working with people who want to make more money, right? We're teaching them how to make more money, and we're really confident in our message because we know it works. And we have tons of experience because we've been doing this for years, right? So that's why we can charge, more per class, per enrollment. If you're just barely starting out and your audience is moms, and because generally, unless they're entrepreneur moms, generally moms have a smaller working budget, right? If you're just starting out and you're working with moms and you're teaching them how to make dinner and you're not very confident, that's where you would start out charging, $100 for a class or $50, or depending on how much time it is. So it really depends on, those 4 factors and who you're reaching out to. But again, that's something I'd have to, if Wendy, if I was working with you specifically about this, we would sit down and talk about it and say, okay, here's where you're at, what are you thinking about, all those things like that, and get into some specifics for you. Did that answer your question? Cool. Great. And Julie, did I answer your question? The short answer to your question is ideally you would get on the phone with them. Ideally you would get on the phone with them, yes. When you get really good at working things online, then you can start doing it through just, script and stuff like that, but I would get on the phone with them if you're starting now. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Awesome. So any other questions about anything that we've talked about so far? Or anything on the board right now? I have all the steps that I found these are the real keys to really making it work. How you conduct a class, and then automation, that's the coolest phase, because you stop trading time for dollars, you just start getting money no matter what you're doing. And then get your audience really engaged. I want to talk about that for just a second. Is you guys know this, and if you don't know, it's about time, right? How do you really get a tribe? How do you get a group of people that are following you? And how do you get them to market for you? And that's a really big thing, because once you do that, you can have bigger packages, you can create online communities, and they do the marketing for you, which is really powerful. You get, followers on Facebook, you get followers on your email list, all those different things like that. And all of those things are really, really powerful, because once you do that, then it starts running itself. It starts going forward. And that's something that we want to talk about too. that will really take your business to the next level. Julie says, do you already go over what technology? Yeah, I'll just go back to that for a minute for you. Dun, 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 dun. I'll just show you some of the ones that we use. So the one we're using right now for this webinar is GoToMeeting. That's one of the top ones in the world. I've used AnyMeeting and WizIQ. I've also used Blackboard Collaborate. Some people use freeconferencecall.com and use the online platform. Some people use Google, Google, what is it called on Google? Google Hangouts, yeah. But really, it depends on what you're teaching to really make it the difference. GoToMeeting we use because it's really reliable with your internet, and you just share your screen. WizIQ is nice because it has a whiteboard you can write. There's a lot of things like that. How to accept payment? Awesome question. You have to get an online registration system. So right now we're using ClickFunnels and RegFox. Those are the ones we use. They are some of the best. There's a bazillion accepting payment platforms out there. You can just research that, and in our class, when we get into the online class that I'm going to tell you about, that we'll really get into the depth of like pros and cons of all those accepting payment things. But honestly, you guys, when I first started, going back to that person-to-person marketing, right? When I first started, literally, this is what I would do. I'd get on the phone with them. I'd be like, da-da-da-da-da, go through a script. They say, yes, I want to do it. I'd be like, sweet, I'll send you a PayPal link. And then I send a PayPal link, and then they sent me the money. Like, that's all I did. And when you're starting out, that's an easy, simple way to do it. You just go on PayPal, and you can create a link that says $400, and you just send that link to them, and there you go. Once you get more into the next levels of marketing, which are, online webinars, those of you who decide to move forward with us today, we have a link that we're going to send you to where you just sign up right there, give all your information, and it just takes care of everything right there. And that's through RegFox. So it just depends on, again, what you're trying to do. Automated marketing, ClickFunnels is really awesome. ClickFunnels is one of the best funnels where you just post something on Facebook, they go through the whole funnel, they pay for it, you don't even have to show up or be anywhere. So that's one that's really powerful. There's also another one that is if you were to use WordPress for your website. There's one specifically for WordPress. It's called InstaBuilder. Yeah, that's what it's called. We were just researching it actually this week. InstaBuilder, which is also really powerful. You can create sales pages on there, and it'll just accept payments right there as well. But again, for most of you starting out, you don't have to worry about any of that. And we'll teach you how to do that as you get good at this whole system. Good? You are welcome. Cool. So, any other questions about that? About anything we've talked about today? Awesome. So far, so good. Glad to hear about that. So, I really, really, really love helping people succeed. Okay, I will be sending out this recording for you guys. Yes, since you took the time to be here today, I'll send out the recording so you can do that. Obviously, today we haven't had time because we've already been at this for an hour and 15 minutes, right? And we haven't had time to cover nearly all this stuff on here. And I really want to help people really succeed. And this is something that I've done literally for like I said, for 9 years, and I've really enjoyed it. I love working with people from all over the country. I love being able to set my own hours. I love being able to stay at home with my baby and not have to go anywhere and just totally make as much money as I want. And I love learning the next levels of automation and all that stuff like that. But I really love connecting with people and changing their lives through teaching online. It's so simple. I also teach in-person classes, and that way you have to rent a hotel room, you have to do registrations, you have to do name tags, you have to do music, all those things like that, which is so totally fun, and I love teaching in person too, but teaching online is as easy as it gets. Once you get past the fear of the technology and stuff like that, it's really, really simple, and it's really fun. Really, really love it. So I mentioned in the beginning that I would be sharing an opportunity for those of you who really want to learn how to do this. Can I share that with you? I really want to share with you a system where I will walk you through step by step, every single step on here, and help you create your online class and help you get it out there and help you make money and help you like really honestly like have it running. Is anybody interested in that? Like, is anyone interested in having me walk you through this whole process that I've been doing for a long time, for years, and having you, like, helping you get to the point where you can just do it? Is anyone interested in that? Awesome. Cool. So I'm gonna share with you something that we created. Tyler and I created just a few weeks ago, actually, because I've been doing, like I said, I've made a ton of mistakes in the past 9 years, and I've just figured this all out by scratch. And it costs a lot of time and a lot of money that I put into it, but I thought everybody knew how to do this stuff. And then Tyler and I were talking, and we're like, wait a second, no one knows how to do this. Like, otherwise they would be doing it, right? If you guys really knew how to teach online, seriously, you would be doing it right now because it's easy and it's so fun and it's, works, which is really cool. So we were doing a 3-day online or live class, like in-person class, a few weeks ago, and we're like, this is really cool. Like, we should totally present this way because we want to help people the best way we can. And so we did this whole class, and we had people there, and they signed up for this big package with us that, was several $1,000s, and they're like, this is so cool, and this is a major part that they wanted because they want to make a difference in the lives of people, and online is the new frontier. So we created the Online Training Mastery Program. And so we offered it to them, and I created it for this special group of people just a few weeks ago, and then we're like, well, maybe we'll open it up to some more people because I want you to be able to do this. And I wanted to open it up to more people because I realized how big of a difference this has made. Like, I was able to move across the country. Like, I was able to, like, say, hey, I want to move to Branson. So I totally did move to Branson, still kept all my clients, like, still kept my business. I was able to, travel as much as I want to. Tyler and I yesterday just went hiking all day because we could. It's amazing what you're able to do when you teach online, and I'm able to be home with my baby. Like, life is just fantastic. So we wanted to open up this opportunity to more people because I like it. And because I want you to be able to have that kind of lifestyle. I want you to be able to get through college, debt-free. I want you to be able to reach out to more people and impact more people. I want you to be able to retire your husband, or have him come home from work, or be able to work from home, all those different things like that. So that's why we're doing this, the Online Training Mastery Program. And it's basically what we've been talking, how to make a living teaching online. Just all of those things we talked about, all of the steps that were right here. All of these steps, we'll go through it in detail. Because in an hour and a half, we can't possibly go through the program builder template, online classroom tours, the define your audience, and the chat box model, and PowerPoints, and how to ask questions, and how to get your class on Udemy. That's a whole process that is awesome, but it takes a little time, and how to build bigger packages and create an online tribe and all those other things like that, right? So we couldn't go through all of these things. So in this online course, this 8-week course, we're going to go through those. It's going to be an 8-week live online class program, and this is the only time it will be offered live. So you have the opportunity to be part of the live group. After this, it'll be recorded and automated. So it'll be automated, and people will just log in and get on all of the recordings of this class that you'll be part of, which is cool. But you could be part of the live audience that gets kind of like the in-depth, get your questions answered, get your other things like that, because after that, it's going to be automated, and we're just going to sell it online, automated through Kajabi. Some more details about it. It's going to be 2 hours of class a week plus online support and networking. On Facebook, we're going to have a group where you can ask all of your questions, where you can share your classes, where you can offer your classes to the people in the group, all those different things like that. All the classes will be recorded because we're going to offer them recorded, and you'll have access to recording. So you guys get kind of a double bonus. This group here who takes part in the live class, you get the live class, and then you'll also get the recordings. It will take you from 0 to making money in 8 weeks. You guys, if you do everything that I tell you in this class, you will make money, like probably at least $1,000, if you really do what I tell you, because it is so simple. And all you have to do is follow the steps I give you. I say, do this, you just do it, you do this, you do it, and you actually do your homework, you'll be making money within the 8 weeks, which is cool. And you'll have a skill where you can make money for as long as you want to, which is cool. everything you didn't need to know to start your own profitable online classes. I said make up to four grand in your very first class, which is easy to do. Like I said, when I was just barely starting, I was like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to offer at this price, and I just started it. And I made $4 grand an average a class, and it was super easy. And no one taught me how to do it, but I had a lot of experiences where I had to figure it out, right? And finally got to the point where I started asking it. So I'm just going to shortcut that process for you. And so let's talk more about that. Literally, if I was going to put a price on this, and if you went out there to look at the actual value of the online training mastery program, it would be at least 25 grand. Why? Because my goal is by the end of the 8 weeks to have you actually making money and learn how to make a living online, and that's a minimum living in the United States today, right? Is 25 grand. So for just 1 year, if this actually makes you a living for a whole year, that's the value of this class for you. The price that Tyler and I have put on this, we've been really thinking about how you put it, is $19.97. And I want to tell you some of the things. Like I said, I've worked with people, some of the people in this class. Okay, thank you, Sierra. You're awesome. So some of the people in this class have been in online classes with me, and they know what it's worth. I've had people make that much, back in the day when I was not even teaching people how to make classes. I was teaching them about money, and they've made that much in the class, which is cool. And then here's some of the things people have said. This is what Emily said. Emily Coleman, she's from Utah. She says, Emily doesn't offer a fast fix solution. She teaches real principles that have made real changes in my life, and they continue to change my life as I continue to use them. I just noticed that it's not a fast fix solution, but it is real principles that I have been using for a long time that have worked for me and they've worked for other people. Working with her has been a turning point in my life that I'll never forget. Thank you, Emily. Let's give a virtual round of applause for Emily. She is fantastic, and I'm really grateful for her. Whoops. Are you guys still there? Oh, there you are. Okay. I thought I had lost my class for a second, and I was really confused. Okay, let's try that again. Let's go ahead and share from current slide. Awesome. And working with her has been a turning point in my life, which I'll never forget, and that's true. Emily is awesome. She's now a mommy blogger, and she's totally making money online. And she has a little baby girl, and she's just rocking her world, and she and her husband are just having a lot of fun. This is what Nicholas said, and Nicholas is from Missouri. He said, I absolutely love this class. It brought to light life-changing information that I know will benefit me throughout my entire life. I can become happier and more successful in life. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to attend this program. Thank you, Nicholas. Give them a virtual round of applause for both of them. And the coolest thing, by the way, I love about teaching and teaching online as well is the testimonials, because I probably have 27 different ones from people that are like that, about people that they're like, oh my goodness, it changed my life. And you can totally change their life through teaching them how to cook, how to craft, how to speak up, how to make a difference. And I want you guys to be able to start getting those kind of testimonials. And teaching online, you can do that, using the methods that I share. So thank you for that online virtual round of applause for them. Okay. So because you guys are here today, I wanted to do something special, which is $885. And I don't know if I will ever offer this for this again, but because literally, you guys, I am teaching you how to make a living online. That's what I wanted to offer for you guys and for this group of people and for those who are going to be on the recording. This is available until class starts, which is next week. The 8-week class, the live class, starts on the 19th of September, so this is available for you for the next week. But I would suggest you get into it soon because space is limited for the class, and we already have people registered for it who are really excited about it, and they paid quite a bit more than this. But I just felt for this group of people online, I wanted to do something really special, and I wanted to bonus you a couple of things. I wanted to give you a bonus of 2 tickets to our in-person class, which a lot of people, it's in Provo, Utah, and it's really, really, really powerful. It's the Ultimate Money Mindset Experience, a 3-day person event in Provo, Utah. We just ran our first one, like I said, a few weeks ago, and it was transformational. Literally, people came out of it and are different people and haven't gone back. Like, they're really a different person. So it's just helping people shape their money, their view of money, and how they can impact the world with money. And I wanted to give you a bonus to how to make a powerful first impression that lasts, which is a class I have on Udemy. That's really, really, really powerful. It's that first one I mentioned. It's my first Udemy class that I haven't updated ever since then. But it still is selling. Every week I get people that sign up for it. And it's a really powerful class about how to make an impression with people when you first meet people, and how to share with them who you really are within just a few minutes, which is really cool. So both of those together is a $1,500 value. And Tyler's adding a bonus. Thank you, Tyler. So Tyler is adding a bonus. Tyler, if you just want to hop on real quick and share your bonus about connecting to above, that'd be awesome.
Unmuted. Awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right. Yeah, well, I just really appreciate Emily sharing this, and I hope those of you listening really tune in, because if you are thinking like an entrepreneur, and you don't have too many money obstacles, then this should be a no-brainer. And the biggest thing that stops people from success is lack of faith. They truly don't act on faith, and they act out of fear. Because they look at their bank account and they say, holy cow, well, I don't have this. And immediately, the first thing they do is they come out of doubt and fear. And this was the number one thing that was stopping me. One, because I thought I had a good connection with my higher power, but the reality was that I was a slave to money. I let my bank account, or what I thought I had there, dictate the knowledge that I gained, instead of allowing my God to dictate what to invest in and what not to invest in. And so I want to give you this Connecting to Above class. It's been one that has completely changed my life. And it teaches you how to have a power prayer. How to truly recognize and understand what your higher power wants for you. And not just like, hey, I'm going to say this little prayer and I hope I get an answer. But know exactly what and where to do it for. So if you have a doubt in your mind about money or whatever you're doing, I highly suggest, if this is something that you're thinking about, decide to do whatever it takes. Because think about it. You invest $800 and whatever, I don't even know what she said, $800 and something dollars. If you invest in that and you truly have faith and you truly want to go share your message and help people, you're going to make your money back times 10, times 20, some of you times 30. So it really depends on how motivated you are, how dedicated you are to moving forward. So I just challenge you, those of you listening to this, to do something different. Some of you have signed up for things and have not made your money back. This class teaches you to make money. And in your future, when you come to the money mindset, if you ever have any fears about money, come to that class, because I will work with you for 3 days on breakthroughs, and it will be the most intense, most awesome experience you'll ever have. So sign up, and if you have any questions, just type it in the chat box. But make that decision. Too many people decide 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a week, but really all it does is take one moment to decide. Is this for you or is it not? Is this something that's going to add value to you or is it not? And if the answer is yes, then do it. If the answer is no, then don't, because you're going to waste your time, waste your energy, waste your money. But if it is a yes, decide. Make that choice. Trust in your intuition, trust in yourself, trust in your higher power, and move forward. And we'd love to gift you some extra bonuses. That's why I wanted to give you the Connecting to Above.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler, for sharing that. Yeah, Tyler, that's one of his favorite classes, and so that's really nice of him to give it to the people who sign up. Literally, you guys, like, I always make a guarantee that I will do my best and deliver my best. But seriously, this class, from zero to making $1,000, $3,000, $4,000 easily, and being able to do that consistently every month for the rest of your life if you want to, that is what this class is about. My intention is to give you everything you need to know, everything I've been doing for 9 years, so you can be making a living online by the time you're done with the 8-week class, you know? I can't say for you how much that is worth, but for me, it's worth like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, because that's how much I've made, you know, from teaching online. I could put that value for this class at like 100 grand because it's been making my living for over 10, you know, almost 10 years. So literally, if you do want to make money online, if that's something you're interested in, if you're really serious about this should be a no-brainer for you to take this class, because I'm going to give you everything I can, everything that was on that template about the online platforms, about collecting payments, about putting together your program, about getting people into the class, about marketing. Tyler and I have paid over 40 grand to learn this information. And we're going to give it to you for 800. So again, it should be a no-brainer. We're learning from some of the best, literally the best in the world, who are doing $1 million in 2 weeks online. Yeah. So again, those on the recording, you'll get the Connecting Above as well. So those of you who are watching the recording, those of you who are here in person in this class, this offer stands until this class starts, the live class starts, which is a week from today. I suggest you register today. And I suggest you get into this as soon as you possibly can, because space is limited on this class and it will sell out, and I won't go beyond the amount that we have. Oh, and the promo code, I forgot. Okay, so you can get into it. Tyler, if you will just copy that, I don't know how to do that from my screen, but if you'll just copy the link, you can click on the link in the bottom of the screen right there, and it'll take you to the registration page. Or Tyler's going to post it in the chat box, and we'll email it to you as well, just to make sure you get it. But the promo code to get that special price for today, because this is something we're not offering to everybody, just people who have attended this webinar. Anybody else who gets on is going to get it for $19.97, okay? Because that's the price it's listed for online. I'm going to give you the promo code right now to get it for the discounted price, which is SEPT15. So I'll post that for you. So if you want that discounted price, again, that's only good until class starts, and for $885. And that's the promo code is SEPT September, abbreviation for September 15. So 2015. So that's your promo code, and there's the link to go on and get it. And the first person who registers from this and from the recording, I'm going to give you some personal time with me and give you some breakthroughs. So I'll give you, a 30-minute, session with me. So the first person who registers from this class, and then the first person from the recording as well, I'm going to give you a 30-minute session, because I just like you guys. And I really want you to succeed, because it's really good for our business when people do succeed. We have people who've gone through our classes who literally are making 5 times what they made before. And that is not even a joke. Like that is 100% true. And people who've quit their other jobs because they're making money with us, some of them have made eight times what they were making before. So this stuff actually does work, but it's good for our business. We get really great testimonials from you guys. If it actually does work, that's why I'm going to give the first person who signs up, who's really a go-getter and is like, I'm on it, I'm going to give you some personal time with me, because I want you to succeed. And it's really good for our business when you guys do succeed. So any other questions about this program, about the bonuses, about anything before we, close today? Is there any other questions I can answer for you? Okay, seeing none, I'm not. Who's just curious? Who's thinking about meeting? Good. Okay, awesome. Who's thinking about doing it? You guys are good? Awesome. Fantastic. Just checking. We're just checking in to see what we can keep on our radar. Awesome. You guys are great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for being here. Awesome. Good, good. Wendy's on my radar as well. And Nathan, you're my brother. You're my buddy. Thanks for being here. So let's go ahead and thank you for being on this class. If you have any other questions, feel free to check with me on Facebook or email thefreedomcatalyst@gmail.com. Make sure you get that link, and we will talk to you later. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys start making